March and April.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for March and April as written here.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving to item number 4. Public hearing. REZ 950-26, APN 101-12-013, legal acreage 11.46 acres. A request was made by Linda Grice with power of attorney from owners Jay and Tammy Curtis of 191 Properties LLC to rezone from RMH to AR. Linda Grice would like to accommodate the wireless communications facility on the existing agricultural use. Site address is 1601 South First Avenue, backyard of Curtis Country Store. This will be a wireless tower. Linda Grice, would you like to speak to this?
Could I give a little?
Would you like to start?
Yeah, could I give a little background information on this? So currently this 11 acres is residential manufactured home zoning. And the only way that wireless communication towers are to be put on a property is they have to have a special use permit. So if or when this is approved, the next agenda item is a special use permit. So they kind of go hand in hand. So on this one, for the special use permit for a residential manufactured home district, the special use permit for a wireless communication tower is not one of the applicable uses that you can do in that zoning. So that's the reason why they're rezoning to the agricultural residential, because within the special use permit uses, it would be allowable in that zoning. So, did you want to say anything, Linda?
Yes, I do. Linda?
No.
So if you want to speak, come to the podium, state your name, address.
So we want to get you on record.
Absolutely. Linda Grice, 10245 East Via Linda, number 211, Scottsdale. So this rezoning, the property is currently being used as an agricultural use. It's growing trees. So whether the wireless gets approved or not, it would be more applicable to approve this rezone to the agricultural use for the existing property owner. So I'm asking that you just keep those two things separate. And yes, this zoning is needed to move on to the wireless, but that's a separate item, and the property owner would be better served, and the community, by having this zoned agricultural. Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak to this item?
We didn't receive any public participation forms on this item.
There's no, okay.
So there were a few phone calls just with questions. I do know that there were a few people that were for it and a few people that were against it, but they didn't write anything, no emails, and obviously they're not here to speak on the matter.
Am I not seeing the property owner?
Mr. Chairman, it seems to me like this is just that, like she was just saying, that this is just the rezone to the agricultural. So, you know, I don't see anything adverse about that. We're already growing trees there. So, is there any other?
Is there any other discussion or questions?
We have never done it backwards before.
Seldom. Okay.
I don't have a problem.
I'd like to make a motion to approve REZ 950-26. And give it a favorable.
It's been moved.
Second?
It's been seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item, number 5. SUP 26-01, APN 101-12-013, 11.46 acres. A request was made for a special use permit by Linda Grice and with power of attorneys from owners Jay and Tammy Curtis of 191 Properties. The special use permit is required for AR, agricultural residential zoning, to allow the wireless communication tower. The special use permit is contingent on the AR, agricultural residential zone approval in R-MH residential manufacturing wireless towers. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, no, I think I said everything, on the last agenda item of why this is happening. I'll turn the microphone over to Linda Grice, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner, Mr. Chairman. This wireless facility is being built specifically for AT&T and FirstNet. So most people don't know what FirstNet is. So I've got Ken Karma here to kind of run through that quickly and explain what FirstNet is and how that works.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ken Kemness, Senior Policy Advisor for the Western Fire Chiefs Association. Do you need my home address?
Just for the record, no, just
21,000 Scottsdale Drive in Bend, Oregon. Thank you very much. So for those of you who don't know what FirstNet is, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a history on what FirstNet is. Next slide, please. So Public Safety Towers Company, which is the company that would actually be building this tower on this property, is not a typical tower company. They're unique in that the towers that they built are specifically for the purposes of meeting public safety needs. As we said, the tenant on this tower that has already agreed to be a tenant on it is AT&T FirstNet. AT&T commercial carrier like we all know about. FirstNet is a little bit specific. So as I said, Public Safety Tower Company builds towers specifically with FirstNet in mind. We'll obviously put, they'll put anybody on the tower that needs to go on there, specifically public safety agencies. If there was a need for local fire, police, or any other public safety agencies to co-locate their equipment on that tower, space is made available. So we can augment the local communication system at the same time. So FirstNet is America's only dedicated broadband service for public safety. So think of it as a private highway for public safety agencies. Next slide. Post 9/11, one of the things we recognized was that communications was obviously challenging, everybody knows that, but specifically getting on the wireless network at the time when something is happening. Think of the fires that we recently had in LA, the shooting that we had in Las Vegas, 9/11, those kinds of things. These big events, there's a lot of congestion on the wireless networks to the extent that it pushes everybody off the network. FirstNet is unique in that Congress passed a law dedicating space specifically for first responders. Next slide, please. So how does it work? They're going to hang commercial equipment on the tower. They're going to hang AT&T equipment on the tower, but they're going to hang a special band, Band 14. Think of it as they're going to build a highway right through the middle of town, and they're going to put one lane on it that is only for emergency use. So it's only for police, only for fire, only for ambulances. No traffic. When an emergency happens, we get priority on that lane. It can be used, but we have priority. If somebody else is on it that's clogged with commercial traffic, we can even push people off the existing network so that we have the ability to communicate first responder to first responder. This is absolutely critical. Think about it when we're trying to coordinate evacuations or we're trying to coordinate the movement of resources, law, fire, emergency management, and the entire like. Next item, please. All 56 states and U.S. territories have already opted in. It's a 25-year partnership between AT&T and FirstNet. FirstNet is not a private company. It's a government-run agency that oversees FirstNet. It is owned by first responders, run by first responders, managed by first responders. Next item, please. This is a small sample of public safety agencies here in Graham County that would have access to FirstNet, that are FirstNet eligible, but it's a much larger list than this. Next item, please. One of the things that we recognize is, one, they don't build homes with wire anymore. Everybody's moving to wireless. So when we don't have access to wireless, we're relegated back to legacy technology, landlines, voice-only radios where we're just communicating and having to listen to communications, paper map books. And yes, every fire engine still carries paper map books, but that's a backup. Dispatch intelligence, getting information back and forth from the communication center via the old over-the-radio when communications are poor and you have to listen and you have to make sure that the information was received correctly. Two-way radios as we're talking about. Next item, please. When we talk about wireless technology, it's really easy to think about the cell phone in our hand or the cell phone in our pocket, but forget that. It is so much more than that. Wireless technology is ubiquitous for all of us, but from a first responder perspective, we use it for absolutely everything. We use it to track our resources, and that is critical. It's not just making sure that we know where our resources are. For us to have a common operating picture and understand what's going on in a specific incident, if we have a fire, a flood, whatever that happens to be, being able to track our resources in real time, specifically if they're coming from outside jurisdictions, is mission critical. Body cameras. EMS, most people don't think about the emergency medical system and the implication of wireless technology for our emergency medical system. The paramedics that are responding to you in this community are utilizing wireless technology to save you. Prior to getting to the hospital, they're transmitting information to the hospital about your care and your condition, your vital signs, your cardiac rhythm, all the information about your medical records. So when you arrive at the hospital, if you're having a stroke, heart attack, trauma, whatever that happens to be, you show up to an emergency room that is prepared, that has information about you already. The wireless network is the backbone of being able to transmit that information. Go ahead. Beyond that, anybody wearing an Apple Watch in this room has access to fall detection technology. If you fall, the watch is going to recognize that you have fallen. It's going to see if you're okay. If you don't respond, it's going to call 911 for you. That's GPS-enabled technology that's going to get EMS to you even faster. Connected AEDs. The automatic external defibrillators that are in these public buildings can be connected to a wireless network so that the minute that AED is taken off the wall, a wireless call is actually made to the 911 center. EMS is on the road just that much quicker. So somebody in cardiac arrest has the opportunity potentially for life-saving care. Crash detection. OnStar has been around for quite some time. That detection also relies on wireless as a backbone. We know that 80% of the 911 calls placed today in this country are made in a wireless device. Nobody has landlines anymore. Less than 20% of homes have landlines in them anymore. We've almost all moved away from it. We've chosen this technology as just part of our lives. AT&T and FirstNet are the backbone. Specifically from a public safety perspective, it is absolutely mission critical for this technology for your community. I think that's the last slide. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Do you have any questions, commissioners?
No, I think it's a great thing.
I have a question. You're with FirstNet, is that correct?
I am with the Western Fire Chiefs Association, but we partner very closely with FirstNet. Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you're kind of, this is just kind of talking about the services that will be provided on the tower itself, right?
Yeah, I spent 40 years in the fire service. My whole gig is when they asked me why I wanted the job, I said I wanted to help people, and literally that's what I continue to do. It's why I work for the Western Fire Chiefs. We advocate for this because it supports our first responders. A lot of the communities, our first responders have no idea how to even begin to address this challenge and get wireless to come to their communities, especially some of our remote communities. So Western Fire Chiefs kind of provides the backbone for some of our local agencies to help them get the service that they need.
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I mean, obviously, I love cell phones, and it's we use them all the time to provide all of our work. Now, I do have some questions a little bit about the tower itself. Maybe Linda, maybe you're the. So is this I know that there was a little bit of opposition towards this, is that right? I know that I've gotten a couple phone calls from it, mainly in two different aspects, one for aesthetics and one for health, were the concerns that I had got. typically represent the cell phone, building of cell phone towers, Linda? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
So is there a health concern with this tower going in?
You're asking about health issues
I'm
on
asking
this?
about health issues with this cell phone tower.
I have some slides that would help with this, but I'm just going to try to tell you how it works. Your cell phone connects to the tower, right? So there's the power that's needed between the two is the same. So it works like walkie-talkie. You talk on this side of the cell phone tower, you hear. To get the signal back, your cell phone has to put as much power going back as came. So if people are concerned about what's at the antenna, the tower, it's the same as what they're using to make from their cell phone tower. So if you're really concerned about the issue, the things that you would do is not put your cell phone up against your head, keep it away from you, use speakerphone. But the same technology that runs the cell phone to the tower is the same as your baby monitors, your garage door opener, a lot of those issues. So they overlap. And I think if you critically look at the information that's out there, you would see that there's really no issue about that. Also, the FCC is a federal regulatory agency over this. They've set limits for how much EME can come off, or how much radio signal can come off of the tower. And in front of the antennas, it's a lot because it's right in front of the antenna, like against your head with the cell phone, right? But once you're on the ground, it's 1,000th of the amount that's allowed by the FCC. So really, even right underneath the tower, there's very little radio frequency EME that's coming to anybody that's on the ground. So each time that you move away, it decreases by half. So let's say from 1 foot to here, it's 100. When I move to 2 feet, it goes down exponentially, so it's at 10. So it keeps reducing. So what happens in a rural area, you have a tower and a cell phone. The distance becomes so large that it takes a lot of power out of your phone. So if you're out in the field somewhere, don't have a good connection, you talk on it for very long, your phone gets hot, right? Because it's putting out a lot of power to try to get to that antenna. So having more antennas spread out reduces the effect that you're getting at your cell phone. So it's actually beneficial.
So along that, what's the downside of this?
The downside?
For every pro, there's a con.
The downside for what?
For every pro, there's a con. So I've heard pro, but what's the cons about having this tower set up?
Well, from my perspective, there is no cons. One, this tower is very important. If you wouldn't mind, okay, you have it up for me. Thank you so much. So this red arrow points to the location where the cell tower is. This is a propagation map, so it shows coverage in the area. Red is good, and you can see there's little dots, right? So this is AT&T's propagation, but it's also what the first responders use because they've got, AT&T has the contract to provide first responder network. So this would be the same for the first responders. Red is really good. Orange, not so good. Yellow, getting worse. Green, not very good. Blue, like really bad. So in between those two reds or orange spots, that area is the entire town of Safford. It has pretty poor coverage. I would say that if there was an emergency here, half the people wouldn't be able to connect or get emergency signals, and first responders would likely be in a pickle. It's just not very good here. So if you go to the next slide, please. So what this tower would do, see, it's now the red color and more orange. It would vastly improve the coverage for both FirstNet, first responders, and for AT&T's coverage. So it's a very important tower in this location.
And the location is right here in Safford itself.
Yeah, it's on, is it Curtis's Country Store,
Yeah.
right?
That's got the perfect location for this tower. It couldn't be kind of like farther out in the,
Okay, so
like my house. I'm way out in Eden, Pima.
sure. You can see that those orange circles only go so far, and then the signal dissipates. So what's that? That's a function of the number of users that are making calls, plus how radio signals work. So if you think like voice, it's a wave. If I'm over here talking quietly,
Right.
you can't hear me, right? And so if I'm too far away, it just doesn't matter. It's like, we can't communicate. So as long as the distance is shorter, then the signal can travel and you can pick up a cell phone call. So if you're out way east, there's probably a need there, just not, it hasn't been targeted as an area yet because there's more areas that are in greater need at the moment. And it's like a small town, a lot of people and no coverage.
But this only covers AT&T and FirstNet, correct?
That's true. At this time, it's being built specifically for AT&T and FirstNet. However, the tower has space on it to allow for Verizon, T-Mobile, Dish, anybody else that would want to co-locate. So typically in the industry, how it works is one tower sponsors it as the carrier. Once that's in, then the other carriers, Verizon, T-Mobile, are contacted to see if they would like to come onto the tower.
So if I get an Amber Alert on my phone, is that coming off of a tower?
Yeah,
Yes.
anything that you, okay.
So we do have coverage in this area somewhat.
Depending on which
Yeah.
you're on,
Yeah.
Verizon or
AT&T
AT&T.
doesn't have it. Maybe Verizon and these other companies do then.
Right, that's true. So if you're using your phone and you get an Amber Alert, right? Okay, it will go out. Verizon sends those out, T-Mobile sends those out, AT&T sends them out. They use Verizon's network to send them out. But if there's a emergency where you need first responders, they're competing with you to make the call, to be able to run their equipment. If you're on there talking to your mother or ordering dinner, well, you have first dibbies on the line because you were there first. He can't get on, so he's just out of luck. So what the tower does is it gives emergency responders first priority. So what would happen in that case, if you were on the call, you would be done. Your phone would go dead, he would get service, you would not.
See, I thought that was already included into that to where that would drop everybody off and move on. But you have to have the first responders in this area.
I think it would be
Okay, makes sense to
wise.
me then.
I hadn't looked at cell towers at all until this rezone, right? And then all of a sudden now I become interested in cell phone towers. And I noticed whenever I got here to the core, there's two cell phone towers. There's one, and I measured it on the map. It's 300 feet this way, and then there's another one 1,000 feet this way. And this one over here is considerably taller than this one. Is one of these already a FirstNet tower? and part of this network? Or where, do
No.
you know about these two towers?
No. I came out here with the AT&T engineer to look at the area. We went to several towers around, and he checked to see what kind of signal he could get. All that goes back into his computer program, and none of the towers that are existing would give him the coverage that he needed. He would at least have 2 to 3 towers to get the same coverage. So this was the most least invasive solution to providing the FirstNet AT&T network. So you, I don't know if this is part of your question also, but you've got 2 towers. You're getting a signal from one, right? So it worked just like a walkie-talkie or a CB. You're just working with, your phone's working with one tower. Let's say you move further away, and so the software will drop you off of this tower and pick up on another tower, right? So if you think about your CB, you have 21 channels, right? If there's 21 conversations going on, 22 and 23 can't get on there, right? So it works the same way for cell phones. Each carrier, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, they buy a set amount of frequency from the federal government. So they have like channels 700 to 720. So on an average site, maybe you can have 800 calls max. If they put all the antennas they have, do everything they possibly can. Once that's full, well, it's like Mother's Day. There's no more calls. You know, you just wait till later. When somebody gets off, then you can get on. So the coverage is designed in like polygons so that the tower covers this area, and they tweak it so that it covers about the amount of people that are in the area. So if you have, like it's about full and you have a big party, everybody's over there doing videos, you won't be able to get the coverage because it wasn't designed to facilitate that number of people. So it's kind of limited in areas.
Where they can go and what towers they can go on.
Right. So sometimes you'll get in an area where you have a tower and you're hearing somebody else talk. Like I'm having a conversation with somebody and somebody else is on there talking. They're off of one tower talking, I'm off of this one, and you're probably located in between where you're getting a signal from both, so you've got 4 people on a conversation, a party line.
But again, the tower only benefits AT&T customers and FirstNet.
At this point in time, yes.
Any further questions?
Well, I'm sorry. Somebody said there were issues on the look of it, visibility, right? So I have a couple of slides here that show, okay, see, if you just pause there, you can see the top level, those antennas will be AT&T FirstNet. That little square below it is the tower's designed already to have somebody else come.
Oh.
So it's set up with that in mind. Please go on. So here's the first slide. Here's the country store that you can see. This is the look across the street towards the area where that would be. If you scroll down one more, you can see the cell tower there with that red arrow, right? So that's what you will see from the street. It's not much. And then if you go down another one, this is looking more north towards it. This is still on the same street, just a little north, and there's the tower, and that's what you'll see. And then I have one more slide. This is from the houses just to the south, from the street area. The left side is without, the right side, there's the tower. So we've tried to make it non-reflective, keep the antennas as tight as possible, and it's kind of grayish, so it kind of just goes away. mean, there's been talk about, oh, you should make it a tree. Well, to make it a tree, those branches are 15 feet wide, so you've got something 30 feet wide that you're looking at, whereas this tower is 20 inches. So it's considerably less visual than having a tree. I think I'm finished, unless y'all have more questions.
Why this location?
Well, it goes back to those propagation maps. So AT&T has looked at all the places. I mean, I suggested probably 8 places where it might go and put it into the computer model to see where it would work best. This gave the best coverage to get the most coverage out of the location.
And how much do they pay these people to put towers on their property? They do pay, right?
Yes, they do pay. That's worked out.
That's why I'm kind of wondering if it would be good if we could put it on the city of Safford's property, so city of Safford could benefit by this.
Well, we actually looked at 2 pieces that the city owns and tried to see if we could make that work. And the coverage just was lacking at the north end of town.
That's too
So
bad.
it would have resulted in needing 2 towers instead of just the one.
Yes, do you have a question? If you come up here, state your name and
Good morning, I'm Shauna Taylor. I'm fascinated by this. I think it's a great idea. I'm just curious if there's any other FirstNet towers in the Safford Thatcher area already existing, or is this the very first one, like exclusively FirstNet, you know, with AT&T and other ones as well? Or is this the first one, the first tower that's FirstNet?
It's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Typically what happens is your entities are operating on like either Verizon's network or on T-Mobile's network or AT&T's. I mean, they just buy cell service. And so it's great until there's a problem, right? So there's a lot of this going on. It actually started right shortly after 9/11 and slowly building out. So more remote areas, more rural areas are just now getting the benefit of it. So it's taken some time, but like FirstNet probably right now is using Verizon in this area to communicate. And that's great unless there's a problem.
Right. So this tower, would it be sufficient for the whole area, like the Gila Valley, for if there was an emergency, just one tower? Inevitably, there would need to be more towers eventually?
Well, it would go on to AT&T's coverage.
Okay.
Right? So AT&T has other locations.
Right.
Right? But right here is a big hole.
Mm-hmm.
And so this will fill the gap in the town.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're outside in the area, the FirstNet will revert to some of AT&T's locations.
Okay.
So isn't that right?
Yeah, if it's of interest, I'm more than happy to share just a tiny little bit. I don't want to waste the commission's time, though.
we're out there for time, but go ahead and just for like a,
To your point, speaking strictly as a fire chief, I could care less who's on the tower. I'm using whatever cellular signal I can get to do the work that I got to do. That's just the way things are. If I can get FirstNet on the tower, that's a bonus to me, but I'll use anything, because a lot of places where I'm just deaf as a post, I got nothing. So I'm looking for infrastructure any chance I can get. When AT&T decides that they have an area that they think is of commercial interest to them, honestly, that's why they're here. It's commercially available. There's commercial interest for AT&T. We're making them put FirstNet on it as well, because we want FirstNet for us. The advocacy, and this goes back to the commissioner's question earlier, my work with Western is advocating for first responders to get FirstNet and that capability on every tower we possibly can that already has AT&T on it, to get them to bring it up to standard, because that's really what we're looking for. So it's sort of this kind of two-pronged thing. We get towers and infrastructure in your town so you have cellular service, It's bonus that it's AT&T FirstNet. That's awesome. But we're going to continue to push to get AT&T FirstNet on as many towers as we possibly can because that's what we're looking for. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, commissioners, for your attention and for your questions. Looking for a motion.
I move that we send a favorable recommendation to the Board of Supervisors.
A second.
Yes.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
No, one opposal. Motion carries. Thank you.
That was very informative.
Okay, our next item, 6, REZ 951-26, APN 105-44-145. Acreage is 1.506 acres. Request by Jason Hughes for sale contingent on rezoning from A, general land use, to RR 30M, single-family residential, 30 square foot minimum lot size. Site address is on Clough Avenue and between Dream Circle and Whitmer Street, Central Arizona. Section 33, Township 6S, Range 25 East.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, this one was actually withdrawn from the applicant yesterday. So,
Okay.
withdrawn. So the buyer backed out, so no need to rezone this property in Central.
Okay, next item, number 7. REZ 952-26, APN 106-34-012, legal acreage 61.569 acres. Shauna Taylor would like to request a rezone on a 6.1 acre portion in the southeast corner of 106-34-012 parcel. The existing zone is A, general land use, requesting RSD, residential special development. Section 32, Township DS, Range 26 East.
All right, I think Ms. Taylor's here. I don't want to take the spotlight away from her. I'll let her
Okay.
explain what she's wanting to do and why she's wanting to do it.
Go ahead and introduce yourself again, and then you'll address the board or county official.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shauna Taylor. And this small section right here, the 6.1 acres, that slightly triangular section is the area we're talking about. I'm just wanting to get it rezoned to the special development to match the land that's around it, the other orange there. It is currently, that's my land to the north of it as well. And if you'll see the small section that's not highlighted, that's a ravine, it's a wash. And so that 6 acres right there is landlocked, so I can't use it. I spoke with Eric Swanson, who is power of attorney, I think, for the Prinas, who own the other land there. And so we were working out some details to get that changed over to special development to build some houses there.
You're thinking like 1 acre house, that's the same situation, 1 acre lots?
Yeah, yes, they're slightly over an acre. That's 6.1 acres right there. And so they'd be a little over 1 acre per lot, with the roadway just, going through there.
Any other?
Any opposers on this?
We have had a couple concerns, of course, with any new development. We have, water concerns, flooding concerns, what's it gonna do with the roads, all of the normal concerns. But again, we didn't have anything in writing on this. I do know that there were a couple people to speak to on this matter. I don't know, it wasn't really for the rezone, but it was for the pre-plat. So I do just kind of want to give you guys an idea. This is going to be a pre-platted subdivision that you guys are going to see, not this month, but you will see it next month. So this is part of a development that's going to have about 40 houses to start. And this is just kind of the piece that's going to tie the properties together so that the land can be contiguous for the pre-plat with the subdivision in mind. And again, they'll have, from the little bit of information that I have, there's going to be wells on these properties. Each, for 4 lots, they're going to have a well share agreement. So just so you guys can see the whole picture before making a decision.
Any further questions?
Do we end up looking at the whole map and then like making like a vote as a commission on the design of that, or is that?
Correct, yes, on the pre-plat, yes, that's just not this item.
Okay.
This agenda item is just for the rezoning.
Just the rezone.
For A to special development, so.
I make a favorable motion to make it.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 8, primarily plat review, not a rezone. Eric Swanson for Sierra del Sol, APN 106-28-121 is a 50-plus acre portion of the original Sierra del Sol development. The site address is Artesia Road and Highway 191. The request was made by Sierra del Sol Development LLC for the purpose of special development plat plan review, and Shauna Taylor, APN 106-34-012 for her 6.1 acre portion. Special development preliminary plat review.
So again, commissioners, on this one, this is the pre-plat that you guys would see. You're just not going to see it this meeting. I would request to table this item because Planning and Zoning Department, we're still missing some of our preliminary information that we need to review before we can give it to you for a vote, so.
I'd like to make a motion to table this item until our next meeting.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you.
Carries. Okay, thank you. Item 9, REZ 954-26, Eric Swanson of DMMK FP LLC is requesting to rezone multiple parcels from A, general land use, to CM, commercial manufacturing. 109-64-007B, 109-64-007C, 109-64-021, 109-64-005, 109-64-019, 109-66-010, 109-66-001, 109-66-003, 109-62-012, 109-65-005 for future development.
All right. So on this one, it's pretty much from right here all the way to the cotton gin on the north side of the highway there. Those are the 10 parcels that they're proposing to rezone from agricultural, which is our A general land use, to commercial manufacturing. And we did have, there were proposals last meeting, and I was kind of expecting more people to be here to, for their disapproval or approval of this matter. I'm actually quite shocked that no one's here. But we did have a couple emails of disapproval, and those were in your agenda packet also. And that's really all I know about this one. So,
Is there anybody else to speak to this item? Show us again, kind of walk up there and just kind of with your hand, show us kind of what we're looking at.
so it's this parcel here. That's the 007B. This one here. The 021. That one. 005. Slide down. There's 010. 19.
How many acres are we talking about? Seeing it.
Yeah, so total, I don't think we have that information. We could add it up real quick, though.
So I got a phone call on it and talked to some people about it, and that's directly west of Pima. And what they're looking at is down the road, where's Pima gonna grow? And that's all highway frontage. And so if you're gonna have, you know, that whole thing with the Circle K and commercial development out there to support the town of Pima, and the cotton gin's already across the street, they figured that's where the town's gonna grow.
So it said like Patterson Mesa Wash, so is it closer in to Pima?
Yeah, show where Pima, it's right out, it's right by the cotton gin, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's out there in that bend,
Try to annex.
So it's on the left.
Yeah.
north of the, it's north
Okay.
of the highway, is that correct?
Yeah, so it's north of the highway.
Okay.
So south of the highway is Pima already, and in that blue, that's their industrial zoning. So if we're following with Pima's comprehensive plan, so they just approved a new 20 to 30 year comprehensive plan, and that's kind of their proposed zoning already across the road, is the
So it's
heavy
past,
industrial.
it's past
commercial.
Patterson Mesa Wash and all those houses in there, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, they're looking down the road for the future along the highway,
okay.
and where are they gonna go, because
I do know that nothing's proposed there right now, just for future development, so.
yeah, good planning, forward planning, I think is a great idea. Along the highway, right, you never know, I mean, that area's got a lot of people, we just built the new high school out there, and it's gonna need more stuff's gonna move. I mean, they still gotta drive to Southern to buy groceries.
Yeah.
Not once that Circle K goes in.
Yeah, if it goes in.
Okay, any further questions or discussion?
I would like to make a favorable motion to move this forward.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
It wouldn't take all of it.
What's that?
Along the highway.
Yeah,
Okay, items to be set up.
and keep the zoning on too.
Item 10, REZ 955-26, APN 106-28-120, legal acreage 41.02 acres, Colton Lee, Cast Industrial LLC, would like to request 10 acres of his acreage to be rezoned from existing SD special development to proposed CM commercial manufacturing, so he can build a fabrication shop. Situs address is South US Highway 191 and West Cuatro Cerros Road, Section 5, Township 80 South, Range 26. Mark? Or, well, you're just setting up, right? So,
Yeah, just setting up on this one. I can give you a little bit of background information though, too, on it if you want, just because I have all this knowledge in my head.
Yeah.
So currently the zoning is special development. He can still build a fabrication shop here in the special development currently. The only thing in special development, everything has to come through you and be approved by the Board of Supervisors with his pre-plat. And that's just the way that special development is written. So he can still do the commercial venture here, but he does want to just rezone 10 acres of it and turn that into commercial manufacturing. Then all the design, the building, the infrastructure will just go through the planning and zoning department instead of having to come to the board, get pushed back 3 months till it's approved or denied. So.
I'd like to make a motion to set this up for our next meeting.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Mark, do you have any previous business from?
No, last month, it was a short meeting. But what I do want to say, though, is we do really appreciate you guys when you guys can show up. I think that was the first meeting that didn't have a quorum in the 4 years that I've been here. So I just want to say thank you for your heart to volunteer for the.
That's because I was in Florida.
Thank you, commissioners. Stand adjourned.
No, now I feel guilty. Like I was in the middle of the ocean.
I told them I would call them on the phone if they needed.
Yeah, well, I didn't have cell service.